approve for you guys. So let's so he said there is this program that you always have, possibly monthly. And I would like he said I would like to have me around to go and speak with you. And well, it's always my pleasure speaking with you guys. So I know we've met in several occasions. You know, the last will be the meeting at the camp and the series some of them. So give yourself a round of applause. In the course of our discussion, we were both talking about money here. And the company actually encroached on part of our land in money, which we are trying to resolve and which will be resolved amicably. So we were both discussing, and I was talking to him about documentation. I said, before buying any land, the very first thing to do is to do a search to know the status of the land. And, you know, we were just talking, I just document that every one of you should be able to understand what real estate is all about in the area of what? Documentation. Having to know the type of document that is required for any land transaction. You don't just jump into any land. You need to what? Check first. Like the company that actually went ahead in taking the land, the first thing they ought to have done is what? Is to go to the site, pick the coordinates, get a surveyor, and what? Pick the coordinates. When you pick the coordinates with a surveyor, you go to the Ministry of Lands or the Surveyor General's office to do what is called land search. From that point, in that office, they'll be able to tell you the status of the land. Are you learning something? When you know the status of the land, you know the next thing to do. If there is a C of O, you know there is a C of. They will tell you there is a what? A C of O on this land, and you can request for the certified true copy of this document. If the land is under government acquisition, you get to know that this land is not free. If the land is under agreed, they will tell you this is under agreed. If it is carved out for residential, it is you will see there. Like the one that they have in mind for dry port, you'll be able to know that this one is one dry port. I'm very sure they must have some of them unless would have sold land meant for dry port for some companies. I am so certain. Because Omonile, they own the land. But there is a law in Nigeria, a decree, it's called 1978 Land Use Act, that took away all the land from Omonile and handed over all the land in state to all the governors, except for federal government land. So since that, as from that point, all the land in Oyo State belongs to the governor. The governor has the power to what? Award land and to revoke at will. Because there's a law in place that what? That's granted him that access. Due to, so please follow me up on this, and by the grace of God, I'll be coming once in a while to have a time with you like this. But I want every one of you to have a notepad, like a diary, something you can always write. Because it is not enough for me just to give you this lecture. Because you have so many things running in your mind. You can easily forget. But when you have a notepad, you'll be able to write Then when you write, you'll be able to go back home and what? Read. These are different stages. Stage 1 is you are here listening to. Stage 2 is that you have to write down. Stage 3 is what? To read. Then if stage 4 is what? To now have to use it. Thank you. So please, next time I want to see your notepad. I want to see you coming up with. Due to challenges that arise from land grabbers commonly called Omonile, where they sell a piece of land to several people. That same money, there has been several companies, there has been several Omoniles, different coming up on one land. So I'm going to use that as a good example today. It is important to know what kind of document can help in such a situation. Regarding buying a piece of land, there are several documents in Nigeria you need to be familiar with. These land titles in Nigeria ensure that you have bestowed the legal status regarding land ownership. Before you invest in purchasing land in Nigeria, be aware of the fragile nature of real estate market. The market is very, very what? Fragile because of the act of some unscrupulous Omonile. They are only interested in selling one piece of land to several people. Please be careful. And that's why some of you have to be careful. Some of you that like to go and sell for 2, 3, 4, 5 companies. I have seen companies that on our way coming here, we saw one. Now they have closed shop there. Some of their marketers in Lagos were arrested, locked up. Some of them, they took away their gas on the road. You have to be careful. The market is very fragile. You have to be very what? Careful. It's very important. The transfer of land ownership and the legal interest in a property in Nigeria is impacted by a number of land documents. The potential land buyer has to be familiar with the applicable land records that are available. Very, very important. The business is very fragile. The same way you can sleep today as a poor man and wake up the next day as a rich man. It's the same way you can sleep today as a landowner and then there's somebody has taken over your land. And you will see one person saying, I am a Jagunbale. I am a land grabber. I can bring dogs to take over your land. What belongs to you? That's good. So there are different types of documents. Buying land in Lagos or any other place, you need to be very, very careful because the chances of getting scammed from purchasing land is very easy. To get scammed in Nigeria, it is what? Very, very easy. So it's very bad. Let's go. Look at this. According to the Land Use Act of 1978, every land in the urban part of state is owned by the state government. The landowners can only lay claim to land after the government has leased the land for 99 years. This act indicates that land in an urban side of the state is either free or under government acquisition. Since that point, it was Obasanjo that did that. You know, in those military days, they do what's called decree. They just come up with one. And they just every land in all the states belongs to what? Government. And I did the act. This is the act. Act L5, Land Use Act. I will read the act for you. Please just understand the act. It says, an act to vest all land comprises in the territory of each state except land vested in the federal government or its agencies. So they brought out the federal government land. They excluded the federal government land from this act. It says solely in the governor of the state who would hold such land in trust for the people. The governor will do what? Hold the land in trust. Keeping the land in trust. And would henceforth be responsible for allocation of land in all urban areas to individual residents in the state and to organizations for residential, agricultural, commercial, and other purposes. While similar powers with respect, that is what they are. Let's go. Except federal government land and its agencies. But every other land in the state belongs to the governor. And they will hold in trust. That's it. You can see. Subject to the provision of this act, all land comprises in state federal. So let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now, these are documents that can be processed, as you must have to have control. Let's sit down. Let's sit down. Hello? I want us to see everybody just be seated. Everybody just be seated, please. Avoid the distraction. Please come in, sit down. Because you all need this information. It will help you. Because one day you're going to meet somebody that understands land transactions. And when the person is asking you, you'll be able to defend your business. This is what you are doing. You wake up in the morning, you're coming in to work, to sell, and you must know what you are doing. The document involved in what you are doing, you need to understand. It's not just, you need to know very well everything here. Number one is called deed of conveyance. Before the Land Use Act, this used to be the document everybody used to get. So one lawyer will just sell land to you, and the lawyer will prepare the deed of conveyance. So what you now do with the deed of conveyance is what? You now take it to government to register. And that's why they used to have what's called RC, registered conveyance. So before the Land Use Act, and registered conveyance does not have expiry date. As long as the owner is still alive, it's still very, very active. So before the Land Use Act, what we used to have is called what? Deed of conveyance. Please let your mind be here. This is a very good opportunity for you to learn about documentation. Because I took my time to prepare this lecture. Let's go. Number 2. It's called this is a land receipt. For every land transaction, you must get your receipt. That's the way we usually have receipt to our clients. If there are issues, or if there's any issue on the land, you can always present what receipt. It is very important. Every land transaction you do or you are about to do, you must request for what? It is tenable in court. Let's go. Number 3 is called the survey plan. The survey plan is used to depict the location and dimension of landed property. It shows on paper the boundaries of the property. The document is verifiable with the Surveyor General of every state. Each state has got its own Surveyor General, SG. There's one SG in your state here. You can easily go to his office to check So survey. What's the survey plan? It's a document that shows boundaries. It shows the size of your land. It contains your name, the size of the land you have. Oyo State as a whole has its own survey plan. It's called the perimeter survey of Oyo State. Oyo State cannot lay claim to all the land in Nigeria. The same way Nigeria cannot lay claim to all the land in the world. Every place has its own. So it's very important for you to know that your land survey will show the size of your land, will show the boundaries, where your land starts and where it ends. This document is very, very, very what? Important. Like, for example, our land in Monia. If you look at the survey plan, I don't know maybe any one of you who have seen the survey plan. The survey plan is covering the two sides. There is one on this side, then it overlaps to the other side. Then with the road, you have the road. Right in the middle. So it shows that our land, we have land there with the size, the dimension. It shows, the other side with just about 6 acres of land there. And it shows the total size in hectares. Most of the land are calculated in hectares. 1 hectare has 15 plots of land. So an hectare can be explained that the land with 2.5 acres. 2.5 acres makes 1 hectare. 1 acre is 6 plots. 2 acres, you have what? 12 plots. Then the half of 1 acre is 3 plots. Look at how many? 15 plots. So that gives you 1 hectare. 1 hectare is how many plots? 15 plots. 1 acre is how many? 6 plots. Yes. So the survey plan will show you what? The size of the land. It's very important to note this. Let's go. So have you got something to do this one? Yes. Contract of sale for land. This is only applicable if there is an ongoing transaction. Ongoing what? Like somebody is paying on instrumental basis. It is only applicable if you are buying the land from a family or from somebody, and you are paying what? Because to show that the number of months you are going to pay, the amount you are going to pay, the terms and conditions, all the necessary information that either of the party can say, I am no longer interested, based on this fact, all this fact, and that. So it is very important for you to have this when there is an ongoing transaction. When you are not through with that transaction, a new document will suffice. That one is there. It explains how you have gotten to the new realm. And that's why it's called the route to title. Because if you get to court, you have to present all the documents that explains how you came into the land. Starting from the receipt that you got from the family, the survey that shows the boundary, the deed of contract when you were paying, then the next document. Let's go. Let's go after this. After this, I'll still come back to that. Deed of assignment. When you are through the payment for that, which the document for deed of contract was issued, the next one is called what? Deed of assignment. Deed of assignment says that, okay, you are through the payment. Now, all the rights, all the privileges, everything that the former owner used to have on the land has been transferred to you. that the land has now been what? Assigned to you. So every power the former owner has on the land has been what? Assigned to you. Now, the deed of contract, the former owners are still, in the process, still as, the former owner on the deed of contract still has the power to say, I'm no longer selling again. Yeah, take back your money. Maybe you have defaulted. But when it gets to deed of assignment, it's final. You are through with the payment. Like some of our clients now, we have started giving them what? Deed of assignment. And this can only be issued if there is a C of O on the land. It can only be issued if there's what? A C of O on the land. And that's why for the homeowners, what they give you is what? Family receipt and agreement. These are the documents they give you. But for as an estate, which we do as a company, what we do is that there is a deed of a receipt of payment, a deed of contract, because there's an ongoing contract. When you are through, we go get the survey plan of the land, and at the end of the day, being the fact that we have processed the C of O, we have it as as the foundation, and we now give you a deed of assignment. At that point, we are saying we don't have any power over your land again. Now we have released all the powers on that land, not on all the estates. That portion you have bought, delineated in your survey plan, you have the power. Deed of assignment. Very powerful. In fact, as a subscriber, you don't only stop there. From the deed of assignment, you can get what is called governor's consent on it. So you just take it forward to government to register. This document replaces the deed of covenant before the Land Use Act of 1978. Certificate of occupancy, C of O. The certificate of occupancy is a legal document that proves the ownership of a property. It proves what? Ownership. Certificate of occupancy. You have the certificate to occupy the land. The power, the right to occupy what? The land. It is issued by the state government and serve as a proof that the property is not under any government acquisition or any issue. And that's why when you want to sell, they ask you, do you have a certificate of occupancy? Is there a C of O on the land? Because that gives comfort. A C of O states that government of that state have surrendered all their rights, all their powers to you on that land. Now, notice, not on all the land, on the one you have presented with your survey plan to them. C of O is very important, and but it has its own lifespan. How many years? 99 years. 99 years. You can buy some now, and the remaining years might just be like 50-something years. Maybe the person had gotten his own C of O, maybe early 80s or when it gets to after 99 years, it goes back, the land goes back to government. So you now go back and reprocess and renew your C of O. But you have to what? Pay. So C of O is very important in all land transactions. And that's why I told you that don't worry. Let them clear the land. There is C of O. There is what? C of O. Certificate of occupancy. You don't know. You see, that's why ignorance is a disease. Ignorance. This is a land that is governed by laws. There are laws. If you should go to court, they will ask you to present what do you have. They will ask you, present your document. Every party will bring his or her document. And they will invite members, staff from the state Ministry of Lands, staff from the Solicitor General's office, to go to the land and pick their coordinates and check the documents you are presenting. And from that point, they then come, you don't have anything on this land, just leave the land. I have seen several situations, on land matters. In fact, there is one of our estates that we bought, Lagos State government took over the land from the Omonile. Just the normal way Lagos State government, just the normal thing, because they have all powers over land. And they can always come and say, okay, this land we want to use it for public use. Maybe they saw something there and then. And then they sold the land to the company with C of O. They gave Lagos State government gave the company the C of O. And in truth and indeed, the company has the right to use the land because it was taken from the family on the basis of what? Public use. But at the point that the company decided to now sell off the land, the family now said, no, you can't sell. They took this land from us for what? Public use. If you are not using it for the public use again, give it back to us. So the family went to court. Now, the judge had to what? Say, okay, you have to find a way to settle this matter. Government has the right to what? Take on any land. The Land Use Act is clear. So, Omonile, you don't have any right on over this land. But at the end of the day, the company said, okay, so that they have been in court for so many years. Let me just release some part of the land to you so that everybody will be happy. Because they are the host community. If there are issues, if there is any problem, the new buyer will not be able to enjoy it. They will just be disturbing, with their half time. Just be coming to disturb, they will be doing so many things. So they have to give them part of that. But what I'm trying to let you know is that with a C of O on any land, nobody can. As long as the C of O is genuine, it's not a counterfeit one, nobody can disturb you on any land. The person can only disturb you for a moment, for just temporary time. When it gets to the right place, the court will give judgment. But the unfortunate thing is that in Nigeria, our law system is a bit shabby. That takes so many years. It can only be delayed, but it will never be what? Denied. So C of O is very important. C of O. Those who own the land prior to 1978 are eligible to receive it. Furthermore, this document is issued by the state government for state government land. C of O, Certificate of Occupancy. If you have any land, try and process it. Oyo State is even a bit easier compared to Lagos and some other states. I know within 1 year you should be able to get it out. Any land, process it. Process it. Let's go. When it comes to governor's consent, government of a state can only issue one C of O. For that particular land, you can only issue what? One C of O. But anybody, if you are selling up the estate to anybody, what we are going to give the person is what? Deed of assignment. When we now give deed of assignment, the new buyer will now go for what's called governor's consent. Governor's consent means that governor knew about it. Governor knew about the transaction and you have to pay for it. A governor's consent is an appendix to a deed of assignment that the assignee submit to the government. This informs the governor that a transaction has occurred and they need the governor's consent for the transaction to proceed. The governor must see why. And a particular land can be sold for 100 people, but the governor must not get to know about it. There will be governor's consent. As you are buying, as you are selling, you do what is called governor's consent. The first document is the C of O, which the government, there's no land with two C of O, just only one. But governor's consent can, as the buyer is selling, the new buyer is going to get what? Governor's consent. So for all your clients, what we give them is called deed of assignment. Anyone, in fact, every one of them should go and get what? Governor's consent. We should have decided to help them in processing, or we can always help them in processing it, but not everybody might be interested. So they can easily get a lawyer to do what's called governor's consent. Let me go back to those two. Look at this, deed of gift. Deed of what? This document is very important. If somebody gives you a property and the person is still alive, what the person will do, give you is what? A deed of gift. Because the person did not sell to you, so it's not a deed of assignment. Please request for what? A deed of gift. Especially for some of the women, if you just met somebody and said, don't worry, go and take that property. I need a deed of gift. Just get a lawyer to prepare it and let the person sign off. And you now take and get it stamped, get the consent on it to make it very strong. A deed of gift, as long as the person is still alive. Because if the person is still alive and gives you a property and there is no deed to show transfer of ownership, it's still the person's own. You can come back tomorrow and claim it back. I'm not giving you again. You know what? But as a smart real estate consultant, the realtor, you just get the lawyer quickly, prepare a deed of gift, let the person sign. At that point, I know the person will surely sign. It happened in our office. It happened right in our office. That's our head office. The owner of the house gave the building to his daughter, his first daughter. And the man gave her a deed of gift. And that's all. So, but when we were buying, because the man was still alive then, so we now did a deed of assignment and we took it to the man and he signed. Because, at that point he was still alive. But deep in, he wasn't alive then. The person with the deed of gift will be the one to sign. And we have to go through all the some processes, but because the man was still alive, then it made it so easy for us. Just met with him and he signed off. So the deed of gift is very important for it's a gift. Look at it. It's a document that attests to the transfer of real estate from one person, the donor, to another, the donee, as a gift. This is legally accepted in land transaction. Hello. A deed of what? Gifts. We take so many things for granted. If the man dies, the children will come after you. You say, you you stole our father's property. Where is the document that shows that it was given to you? I used to know one woman at, if I know her, at Ilupe, somewhere in Ilupe in Lagos. Was dating a big man, and the man just gave her the house and or just bought the house and just within 2 years the man died. And the children came. But luckily for her, there was a deed. She was very smart to have gotten that deed. They went to court. They went to what? Court. But that deed helped her. When they get to court in Nigeria, 60% of cases there are on land matters. And people used to lose out because of carelessness, negligence, ability not to do the needful as at the right time. Let's go. Okay, extinction and gazette. This is only most majorly in Lagos because Lagos state land in 1993, the governor of Lagos State, the mutual administrator, Olagoso Yondola, carved 823 square kilometers of land and placed them under what? Government acquisition. From Maroko down to the boundaries of Lagos and Ogun, to the other side. All the Beduleki land, except villages, existing settlements, and communities. But anything free under what? Government acquisition. So what you can get, what they now allow is called extinction. So as a family, as a community, you can decide to request for extension of your community. So you now request that the government should, that now you have more population. So the government should what? Give you more land. So you now request for village extension. So it's called the document is called extension. But now they even stopped it. They are doing more of land allocation now in Lagos. So in Lagos, you don't just buy land. You know what? Buy land. You must know the status. Oyo State is even better. Lagos, you can't just buy any land. You must know the status first before you acquire the land. Then you don't only stop at extinction, you get it must be gazetted. Take it for, you go forward, you take it further and process the gazette. Make sure that it is gazetted. It is there's a white paper, published for everybody to see that this community has been given more land. Only the community can process it, not a company or any individual. The permission is given to a community to request for an extension of their community. Because as of 1993, they only captured the number of the current habitable land where they are currently where they were currently habiting. Now, and as time goes on, they are growing. More children are coming up, and so they have what is called village extension. So you can read this and go ahead. Let's go. Grant of profit. This document is available for. Let me read it so you understand it. A grant of profit is a document obtained after establishing the validity of a descent will, of a descendant will in the probate registry. This will vest in the executor of the estate all of the assets, making them the legally acknowledged owner of the property. If the right owner of the property dies and there is a will, you don't just, because of the will, and say, I want to take over the property. you must get what is called grant of property. The court will now issue you as the legally owner of what? The land. You know, they just come and read out a will. And so, you have to inherit number 61, Ring Road. You don't only wait there, you go and get what? Grant of property. That is to make it legally. Now you are now the legal owner. So you must get a lawyer to process this for you. There's also the opposite of this, which is the next. It's called, not this, letter of administration. This is applicable when there is no will. So when the owner of the property dies and there is no will, you'll be required. The family will now appoint maybe two of the children to act and get a letter of administration from the government to be able to what? Administer on the deceased properties or property. Letter of administration are given to the heirs, children, heirs of a person who passes away without a will. This is somewhat similar to a grant of property. If you don't have a will, the law creates a list of people who qualify to submit letters of administration applications. And that's why it's good to have, because this is a very cumbersome to get. In fact, you'll be required to pay about 20% of the assets to government. And if you want to inherit somebody's property, you don't want to pay government. It's not illegal. It's not free. Even if it is money. Maybe somebody has the more money in the bank and you want to go and get the money. You have to process the document, get this LA out, and you have to pay a certain percentage of the money. Almost about 25%. And that's why it's good to be organized. So if you have properties, get your will. Get your will. And not just the will, let's register the will. If you just write the will and put it somewhere, and maybe somebody doctor this. But when you write, when you have the will and you register it, you take it to government to do the normal registration. And you have the red copy lodged. Nobody can tamper with it. It should not be like, they have bribed the lawyer. No. They will go to government and show that this document was lodged, was registered at this time, at this point in time. In Nigeria, anything can happen. So please, letter of administration, and the process is very cumbersome. You must get 2 sureties with a good document. I know of so many people have come to meet me to come and start as surety. I've done for just one person. Because you have to present documents, you have to present tax clearance, you have to present so many. Because one unknown person can just come and do LA and steal somebody else's property. I have seen several people that will just come to our office and say, my dad is so, and I'm the firstborn. Please, I need the property document. Property document. I'll now ask them, where is the LA? Go and bring the LA. It is the LA that will show that you can administer over this property. So many people, they've been to our office. Say, I'm the firstborn, and I want to have the document. So many. And the next thing is that they want to sell. What they need is what? The money. So, as a realtor, you need to understand all this. If somebody wants to sell a property to you, apart from the fact that you know that, okay, the rightful owner is no longer alive, and they have C of O for the property. You also ask, is there any LA to show that you have the right to sell this property. Because if there's no LA, that is when somebody will now, one of the children will now come and come with one court judgment and say, I'm not part of the people that signed. So the transaction is not and void. You've not heard of stories like that. And you have taken a customer to go and buy a property. Voila, you know. So you must request for documents. And you too, you must get documents, which is very important. Let's go. So the deed of mortgage is for if you get a bank loan, a deed of mortgage will be prepared. A bank loan, deed of mortgage will be prepared, and it will be registered. And after paying the loan, you must also go back to the state government, that Ministry of Land, to go and take it off. Take off the lien, place on the document, pay off what you need to pay, and write it off. Very, very important. Let me break it down. You get to a bank and you present your properties document for a loan. The bank will not just keep your document, they will go to lands and place a lien on the property. Just like what? Debit. Debit block, yes. They will just block it. Because they know that you have submitted some document can go to another place to use same document as what? Collateral. So it is now incumbent on you after finishing payment to go to, because the bank will not do it for you. They will just tell you that, okay, this is your document. You have to go to that Ministry of Land to go and unlayer it, to go and free the document. Something happened to a friend of mine, their family, when they actually wanted to sell their property. We now went to the Lagos State. We saw that the property, there's a lien, took a loan in 1987. Loan of 15,000 naira from the bank. Lo and behold, the man has finished paying, but he failed to go to land to remove the lien. Hello. The accrued charge on the property was around almost for 25 million naira. Wow. From Lagos State government, yes. Because you ought to have done the needful. They didn't do it. So we have to now what? Instead of, writing that they have finished paying, that this, at the end of the day, we got a 50% rebate. When they sold the property, they paid Lagos State government 12.5 million naira. Free money for the boys. Because of somebody's not just mistake, carelessness, negligence. Documents, very, very important. Very, very what? Important. Let's go. Building plan approval. For every of your construction ongoing, you must have your approval. If you have approval, government cannot come and demolish your property anyhow. Building plan, and it's very easy to process. Just submit, make some of your submissions, and because in Nigeria we are just very careless. We believe that we can do things without nobody act of impunity. There's nothing, no consequence. When the wahala starts, and that's when you see some projects to just go there and demolish, you must seek for the approval, the permission to build. Permit. It's just like having a permission to drive, driver's license. Same thing, permission to what? Build. Building plan approval. Don't build without it. Even if you are built, go back and process what? The approval. Very important. Go and get it. Just get it. Keep it. One day you might need it for something important. Okay, letter of allocation. This applies to estates or government schemes whereby government usually they do allocate land, you must have the letter of what allocation. And you have to keep it because it contains some information, vital information. Monies to be paid, the number of years, if you buy land from government, this is what they will give you. The same way you buy land from Agview, we give you a letter of what? Allocation. So this is one important document that says that a plot of land has been allocated to you. But you don't wait there. It has been allocated to you, yes, we know. Go forward and get the deed of assignment. And don't stop there to get what? So the land has gotten a C of O.
Governor's consent.
Governor's consent. Because before a deed of assignment is issued, there must have been what? C of O. If there is no C of O, what can only be given is what agreement. You just have agreement between you parties. And that is not really tenable. It can be tenable in court, but government does not really understand that. So, but it's part of document that will be submitted when processing your C of O. But you must make sure that you get that C of O because it is very important. It is the basis, it is the foundation. It is the foundation. That's why as a company, we always try to get our C of O. And that's why we don't buy any land without C of O. Your two estates in this or your state have C of O. Money has C of O. Single has C of O. Court judgment. This is when there is a dispute between parties. This simply implies that the individual went to a court, battled with the government to another party over an expanse of land and came out victorious. Such person can proceed to process the appropriate land document to grant him executive rights to such land, which could be either C of O, governor's compensation. If there are issues, maybe one land was sold to two people. So everybody will now go there, go to court. And court will request for what? The roots to tie to. The family that sold the land, they will ask them, how did you get there? The family will speak. Out of these two people, who bought the land first? Who sold the land to A? Who sold the land to B? There are some different children in the family. Maybe family, the senior brother, the elder brother sold to A, the younger brother sold to B. At what time? You bought in 1920, you bought in 1930. So we're gathering facts. Okay, you've not gone to do any document, have you? Yes. But you bought first? Yes. Who bought right? You bought right. You, okay. And at the point, after all the facts are submitted, the judge will now give what? Judgment. Okay, you are the rightful owner. So with that document, you can now proceed and get your C of O. It's a very strong document. Nobody can contest it. The only thing is that you can go and appeal. After appeal, everybody will go back and, then after appeal, the final is the Supreme Court. There was a case around our office that got to Supreme Court. These people were friends, or anymore friends. They both bought property beside each other. But when one died, the youth other took over the land. Yes. I'm telling you life. You took over the other person's land. So the children now took him to court. They won in the high court. The children won. His own land is still there. He built a hospital there. Life. They went to high court. The children won. So when they now got to Supreme Court, this other man now went to bribe the judge there. So they now place the court. There's a document called Keep in View, or they place the file on sin and die. Sin and die means that let's just keep this case one side. That will, later we'll get back to. So the children became confused. They couldn't process. They couldn't. So like you hanging something somewhere. Lọ́wájú, lọ sẹ́yìn, ọjà kan wà lójú kan bẹ̀. Telling you life. So the children actually wanted to sell the property with the first two titles, with the first two judgments. But they couldn't. We went there, we saw it, we loved the property. We don't know the outcome of the Supreme Court. One day, Supreme Court will go back and revisit the case. And by being, this is Nigeria, we have to be careful. So, luckily for the children, the other man now died. Hey, as the man died, they just this man is a typical Ibadan man. As he died, he just went back to court. He went to the Supreme Court. And they got judgment. The following week, they came with bulldozers and they move everybody out. They fenced the land out. They started work. Prime location in Anthony there. Very good location. At the back of that last school. That Anthony village there. Good location. Very good location. So court judgment is also important. It's a document that you go to battle with someone and you win in the court, you can present it. And everybody must respect it. Then the final one I'm giving you is called power of attorney. Power of what? The power of attorney is a document issued to you in trust. That is, someone can just call you anywhere now and say, the family can call you and say, okay, we own this land. This is the document for the land. Please help us to sell the land. Or anybody can call you now and say, okay, this property, we want to sell it. And we see that you are a realtor. We have seen that you have been coming and you are selling property. Come and help us to what? Sell it. What document will you request for? Power of attorney. In the power of attorney, it will show you that, okay, you have given me the right to sell on your behalf. One, though they're not going to pay to your account, but there is an understanding between you, the seller, and you are the seller now, and the rightful owner. And it will show the time frame. They will give you time frame. They can say 6 months. They can say 1 year. So after that 1 year, if you couldn't sell that property, you can revoke the power of attorney. But if you are still within the 12 months, and they now get another person to sell for them, you have the right to sue them and get your what? Commission. So if anybody gives you any land or property to sell, request for what? You see, one thing is that they will surely give you at that time because they are desperate. In the first place, they even called you. They called you based on the fact that you are doing the business. Even families do it. Families, they just call you and say, come and sell this land for us. Come and be the agent. So it's a very strong document for you that guides you, the seller. It protects you. Because when the owner of the land, when they see money, they forget you. So many times, you see people selling houses. I have seen somebody sold house of about 120 million. Magulu. And they called the realtor. Say, don't worry, I will send you 50,000 naira. Yes. There was no binding document. That's human being for you. Human being, money, forget it. When it comes to money and human being, it is even easier to embrace at that point, Satan is even defeated. Money. Ah, before that money, they will still be telling you, "Wow, this is how far? I hope you are fine. You are going, you are taking people there, you are doing advert, you place advert on online, you do this, you are spending your money." They are not seeing that. People, your story, they will tell you, are you the owner of the property? Well, as they come, what's that on your own? But they forgot to understand that you, as a professional, you took your time in bringing someone. In fact, you might even take somebody there and they will hijack the person from you. And underneath, they will be transacting with the person. And later, you just heard that that person has bought the land. If there's a document, you quickly what? You take action immediately. You take what? Action. Immediately, just get a lawyer. Immediately, a lawyer writes them. A lawyer. See lawyer about the conversation why. And you are happy and he will call you. Don't worry, let's talk. Let's settle amicably. By then you know how we'll be doing like this. My commission is what? 10%. Because in the deed, in that power of attorney, you must have spelled out all this information. This house is going for 120 million naira, and I'll be getting what? 10%. And this is it. Okay, maybe you are negotiated down with them, you agreed on 5%, for example. 5%. So when they, after selling, they will look at your 5%, 6 million, say, it's working. It's still no shit. 5 million, 6 million, you know who you are? So, what's the reason? So you have to guide yourself with documents. With documents, it will save you. Nobody can harass you. When you have a property and you have the CFO with you, any account that allow money to see you don't lock. Like I said, it can only be delayed, it can never be denied. Yes. Though government sometimes used to revoke CFOs too. They sometimes will do what? Revoke CFOs. If for example maybe they discover that they discover something around that area and they would like to make use of the area, public use, they just pay you. They pay you off. And that's why for them to be able to value your property and give you the right money, you must have a building plan approved. Because if you don't have a building plan approved, you tell them you are building, say, we don't have your information about your building. So they will just say, give me 1 million naira. The government, give me 10 million naira. A building that is worth about 100 million naira. But because they want to build the fourth mainland bridge and they want to go, and they have changed the design, the location, how the project will, that is life. Life is not permanent, it's not stable. Things will change. So you have to what? Guide yourself against it by processing the required document. Don't sell for a company without document. That was why I gave one lecture one day about 10 things you have to look out before selling for any company. You first ask, who are the directors? How many years of experience do they have? How many estates do they have? How many estates is habitable? Out of all the estates, which one is accessible? Which one has been developed? How many residents do they have in their estate? How many years of experience? Are they into court cases? How many court, you check all this, it's very important. There are some companies that have so many court cases. So you have to be careful. As a company, you have to be very careful. One thing that we are careful of in our view is having all these issues, courts, police, litigation. We are very careful. And that's why we have this reform policy. You can come in and say, I'm no longer interested. We'll give you your money. So we just go to the contract and effect what we have signed in the deed of contract. Very simple. I have seen some people that they will ask for their money and they will tell you that I want a full refund. A full what? Refund. So we now, our lawyer will now write there that according to section in the deed of contract that you signed, you are attested to. After seeing that, most of the time they don't reply you again. They just keep quiet. Because they'll go and read it. Say, some of them now be asking that, did I sign this document? Am I the one that signed this document? If I want still came last week, I just said you should go and bring her file. And I said, who signed this document? She was looking at it like she became lost for about 5 minutes. For me, the document is low. Ilé ti sọ́nù ni o. Àwa sì ní tiwa kọ̀. Ṣé ìṣá lè sign níbi? Kí lè máa ṣe báyìí? That allow me just change. Kí lè máa ṣe báyìí? So if there was no deed that was signed, the next thing ẹ̀kọ́ rí ọlọ́pàá kọ́ dé ní. Wọ́n ti dé nìyẹn. Ọfẹ́ cheat mi ni o. You understand? So you need to guide yourself, know the document, the required document that surrounds, because land, there are different types of land. Government land, government must give you what? Allocation letter. Family land, you get your family receipt, you get the agreement, and you process the deed of assignment. And you process the governor's consent. And when you are selling out, you must give out receipt of payment, you must give out a letter of allocation, you must give out the survey plan. Survey plan is very important. It shows your boundary, the size of the land, how your land is. If your land is on the corner piece, you will see it in the what? Survey plan. You know a corner piece now? A corner piece is a piece of land that enjoys two roads. You will see one road there and one road there. That's just a corner piece. A corner piece does not say that your land must be bigger. The only simple meaning is that it enjoys what? Two roads. So if you are to be given 300 square meters of half plot, it's 300 square meters. So I've seen someone that said that I bought on the corner piece that my land should be bigger. So no, we have the layout. All the land in the estate is either 300 or 600. Simple. So your document will spell all these out. Survey plan, a deed of contract, very, very important. If the contract is ongoing, anybody can default. Any of the two parties can what? Default. That contract will guide you. I have seen some clients that ought to pay for 2 years, 3 years, or this or what. So just write them and refer them to where? The contract. One of the clients sent a mail about a month ago because he was aggrieved of some incidents in the estate in Bluestone. He said, "Give me my money back." He has built his house. He said, "I'm not buying the phase 2 again. Give me my money. I want a full refund." He just wrote in. When the guy in charge of the mail was, they were saying, "Oh, when you don't do mail around." Tí lọ́yà kọ́kọ́ lẹ́tà ẹ̀ gbì báyìí tó kọ̀ kóòtù kò kíní ẹ̀ fún lórí fi lórí àtàchì kíní ẹ̀ sí lórí ẹ̀sẹ̀lẹ̀ àtijọ́ ẹ̀ kò tí sọ̀rọ̀ sí. In fact, intentionally I was expecting his mail and up to now he has not responded. So document will keep you. So in what we are selling, there are 7 documents we always issue out. I even forgot to mention one. It's called the estate covenant. Estate covenant gives rules and regulations. What you have to do in the estate, that you must keep your pets, your dogs, keep in your compound. You must not park on the road, park in your compound. You must not disturb your neighbor. You must, your generator must be soundproof. Estate covenant explains all that. So in our view, we give out 7 documents. Number 1 is the receipt of payment. I've explained part of it. Receipt For every payment, there must be a receipt. That the receipt will show your balance, how much you ought to pay, and how much you ought, what's your balance, how much you have paid, and what your balance will be. Number 2 is called the deed of contract, contract of for sale, the deed of contract. Number 3 is called the letter of allocation, the letter of allocation, allocating the land. Now we are now giving you this land, plots. So it will contain the plot number, the street name, the location, the exact location in the layout. I even forgot to mention that to the layout. There's also an approved layout in estate. I need to update this lecture. There are 3 documents I need to put there. How about the layout and estate covenant? Now, the layout, that's number 3, the letter of allocation. Number 4, a deed. Before the deed, we have the receipt, deed of contract, letter of allocation, survey plan. Survey plan, that's number 4. A deed of assignment, which is very important. A deed of assignment. A deed of assignment will explain the C of O information of the land. You will see everything quoted there. The survey, the perimeter survey of the estate, the number will be explained there. The C of O number, whereby you derive that assign, where you are deriving the power to assign, will be explained in that deed of assignment. Like I said, the route to title that we are giving out, what gives us power to be able to assign to you, will be clearly explained in the deed of assignment. Then the last one, 6, is called the estate covenant. You know, to talk about estate rules and regulations. Very important, because you'll be shocked. Someone will just come and build shop on the road. We have seen so many clients. You have the good ones, you have the bad ones, you have so many clients. Our conscience is showing it in the same. I have seen clients that will tell you that I have bought the house. I have not to pay any money again for security, for electricity, for waste management. No, I have bought the house. That was why I bought in the estate. So I have not to pay anything again. Yes. I will be fighting the other residents and say, this is estate now. I have to use the life free. Life. You just wonder, and you just very funny. Very, very funny. So the estate covenant will explain all that. So I hope this help. This has helped this, you know. So the summary. The layout. Have you written the layout? The layout will show where your land is. It should be attached to the survey plan. When you want to start them, just be just like we do this every time just to educate others. Because we have some listeners out there. And also, you can also follow the AdView Investment Limited page, our pages, AdView, so that you can always get updates. Every Monday, I do this every Monday. Alright. So, these are the list of documents for land transactions in Nigeria. Before 1978 Land Use Act, March 29th, it was done by the former military ruler, President Olusegun Obasanjo. He gave all the land to state government. It's called 1978 Land Use Act. And up to date, governments of every state are in custody of all the land. So then, before then, there used to be land deed of covenants. whereby you register with government, and from there you have the land. In fact, the only document there was only deed of covenant. But now with that Land Use Act, there are several documents that has to do with land transaction. Let me just explain the one that has to do with for our view. The first document we give to you is that if you are buying, you have receipt of payment that shows the amount of what the land, the worth of the land, amount paid, the balance, and every other information that regards to you. You have a deed of contract of sales for that shows that there is an ongoing transaction between the parties, you the buyer and we the seller. It will show the duration, the time frame, the amount, the money, the financials, everything. It will show that any of the party can withdraw from this transaction. But if you are withdrawing, you must read this line. XYZ amount to be what? Deducted. And if we also default, there is also a penalty. It's clearly written there. And so it shows grace period. Also, you get, when you are through with your payment, the first document you get is a letter of allocation, allocating the land to you. Then afterward, you get the survey plan. You bring in the survey to bring out to get the survey plan. The survey plan will show, will delineate, will show where your land starts and where it ends. It will show the size of your land. Like I mentioned the other time, that a corner piece. Somebody who that owns a corner piece say my land should be bigger than somebody that owns 2 plots because you are in the corner piece. No, the simple meaning of a corner piece is that it's your piece of land that enjoys 2 roads. Simple. So in the deed of contract, it should have been written there that you bought a land of 300 square meter, half plot, or a land of 600 square meter size. Do you understand that? So we are getting a survey plan. The next document is a deed of assignment. The layout, because you have the layout, it will be given to you. The layout shows where your land is in this central layout. So it will be stamped. It will be attached to your survey plan. Then after that, you get a deed of assignment. Why we are assigning is that we have a C of O that grants us power, certificate of occupancy that grants us power to assign to you. So we are now assigning all our rights, all privileges, all the powers we have on that land, assigning to you as the new owner, the rightful owner. So it is now incumbent on you to take it and get governor's consent. If you check the deed of assignment down the last page, you will see there governor's consent. And with that instrument, you can use it in any bank. With that governor's consent, you can use it where? As a collateral. You can use that building. Only the building, not the estate. Very important to note. Then the last document in the estate is called an estate covenant. I have seen a situation whereby a resident in Treasure Island Estate used to have dogs, big dogs. And one day, one of the dogs just went bizarre. Big. In fact, it's maybe one of the dogs, maybe I can't even remember the situation now. He injured one of the workers there. And all the workers now mobilized to go and we have to call, don't worry. So this estate covenant will guide and protect and bring sanity into the estate. It will tell you that you can't park on the road. This is an estate. There must be orderliness. You want to do your parties, you go to the recreation center. Don't block the road when you want to do your naming ceremony. Okay, you have dogs, keep your dog. You have your goats, keep your goats. Because if you don't keep your goat during the Day festival, you can go and hit someone or break someone's car. We don't want to. We want sanity. The reason why you are bought in the estate is to work sanity. You want sanity. You want peace. And that's one of the reasons why you have what invested in an estate. You could have gone out to buy from the community. So because the estate will what bring sanity. There will be unity, oneness. one purpose. There will be understanding. Everybody will be managed and controlled. So that document is very important and can be used anywhere, even in court. If you bring all your goods and we can sue you and show you that there's a contract that we have signed and that is abiding in this estate. So I hope you have learned something. Like I said, the other documents, probate for those who are somebody that died, with a will. LA for somebody that died without a will. Deed of mortgage for loan. Power of attorney if there's anybody gives you a project to do. Court judgment, so many documents. But all these documents, they don't apply to every transaction. They are specific in nature. Specific that a deed of assignment is different from a deed of gift. Do you understand that? They play different role. And notice, most importantly, all the women in the house, all the ladies, if there's something you have learned today, it's called what? Deed of gift. Even if your husband gives you, tell him to give you what? Yeah. And don't just keep it under the bed. Go and register it. Certify it. Torí ọjọ́ ọ̀la. Thank you very much. That was so